repeat guest, good friend of the show, as always. Top Shot Season 2 contestant, author, opening a shooting range in Texas. Daryl Parker. Daryl, welcome back to the show, man.
Thanks, Colonel. Good to be back.
Hey, this is E, but Colonel's here with me. That's all right. How's things with let's talk about first the range. So tell us about the range, the Marksman's Challenge down there in Texas. Just opened up, right?
Right, just this last opening weekend, October 1st and 2nd.
And then you had Jay Lim down there as your guest instructor for this past weekend. And you have another guest instructor this weekend. Am I not mistaken on that one?
Correct. Ian Harrison, winner of Season 1, is going to come out on October the 9th to shoot our challenge with us. We're going to have a lot of fun.
And I imagine there would be more future guests planned?
In fact, I just now got off the phone with Chris Reed, winner of Season 2, my season.
Yeah.
And we're discussing his schedule right now and hoping to get him out sometime in the month of November.
Fantastic.
And he was a sleeper. I didn't think he'd win the whole thing. I kind of picked George to win the whole deal, but Chris won. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. And with this challenge, it's set up, this Marksman Challenge, it's set up to give you that top shot feel for your everyday shooter.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to do that? That looks. I mean, shooting range is one thing, but going down to Daryl's place, the Marksman Challenge, got to check that out. That sounds incredible.
And how did all this come about?
Let me
Daryl?
tell you that on Top Shot we shot one challenge every 3 days.
Right.
At Marksman's Challenge, you shoot 5 challenges in 1 day.
Wow.
Definitely better.
That's. I would love that. We'll have to get down there, Colonel. Field trip. We're going soon.
I'm telling you, I keep scouring. I keep looking for cheap airfare. If I can find the airfare to get down there, it's done. I've got it. I'm not worried about the hotel.
We'll have it across the board. Write it off. Don't worry about it, man.
There you go.
Yeah, and we've got plenty of tents there. So
tents. There you go. We're in for sure. Now, how's the book doing? We talked about the book on the last show.
This season.
Yep. Yeah. So how's that doing? And are there plans for a sequel?
Yeah, actually, the book's doing really good. I actually have an agent in New York, which is kind of like the literary capital of the world.
Right.
An agent in New York who is anxiously awaiting my second book.
Wow.
So, I want to get to writing that thing, but I don't have an opportunity right now with the range and everything that's going on. So I'm going to have to wait until the cold season when it's too cold to shoot.
Right.
To really hammer down and get that second book put out.
Now, do you have an idea for that book yet? Is there something in your mind, or is it kind of you have to sit down and then figure it out from there?
Oh, yeah, I've already got it all outlined. It is a sequel to number 1. There are 4 books in that series.
Okay.
And I've already got it all figured out. I just have to actually put it down and edit it and all that kind of thing. So
we need to get a copy of that book. I haven't read it yet.
I have it.
You have it?
Yeah, I've got it, and I'm almost finished with it, if I remember correctly.
Push it on over to me, man. 'Cause I'm looking for a new book. You know what I mean?
I need to give you a book.
Let's go.
But yeah, honestly, the agent's not the only one who's looking forward to the next book. I think everyone who's read the book is. I know Kristen; she's absolutely been waiting for another one. She wants.
This is your non-fictional girlfriend.
Yes, this is my real girlfriend, even though you insist otherwise. She's been looking forward to the next installment in the series as well. So, I think everything you're doing right now is just making so many people happy. And with Marksman Challenge, and even then with Marksman Challenge, you had a lot of help getting that set up. If I remember correctly, you got some good sponsorships and some associations with that
Our
as well.
Our sponsor is Cheaper Than Dirt. Everybody knows Cheaper Than Dirt,
right?
And they came in big time with they helped us out in a bunch of different ways. Not to mention our weapons that we bought for the range to use at the range, because when people come to Marksman's Challenge, they use our weapons. We provide all weapons, ammunition, etc. So,
wow.
Cheaper Than Dirt gave us huge discounts on our weapons, our ammunition. They really helped us out with the marketing. They have a marketing team. They have a blog that they get like 20,000 hits a week. So they've really, really got behind this thing because they see the potential in it.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, every range that I've ever been to, this is you have to take your own arms. So that's interesting that you guys actually provide the weapons. And I think the most radical thing I've ever shot with was an AK-47. What kind of weapons do you provide there at the range?
Well, we've got people come to the range, they shoot a variety of weapons. We've got semi-automatic pistols, we've got revolvers, we've got bolt-action rifles, scoped rifles, we've got, H&Ks, down to Ruger 10/22 rifles. I mean, but the challenges are really about marksmanship challenges. You know, it's these shooting games, and also you have to understand that the challenges have to be gauged to be challenging to both the very newest beginning shooter
right.
and the advanced master level shooter.
Right.
So we have a bunch of handicapping systems built in also. So if you're a master shooter, it's not going to be a walk in the park for you to come in and shoot this course.
So, and not only that, but if I remember correctly, when someone goes down and participates, especially this past weekend, and I don't know, is this just limited to this past weekend, opening weekend, but people were put on two separate teams, and then they were given each shirt similar to like what you had worn on Top Shot with the Marksman Challenge logo on it. Is that a continuing trend? Is that going to happen throughout business as well?
Yes. What we do is, when people sign up, we send them a survey and basically ask them a little bit about their shooting experience, and we ask them to qualify themselves. Are you a beginner, intermediate, advanced, or master shooter? We have some definitions for them. They fill all that out, they send that back to us, and then based on the return of the surveys, we divvy the teams up so that we have pretty much equal teams. So they come out there and they get issued their shirts, either the green team or the black team, and they meet their teams the first time, and you'd be amazed. By lunchtime, they had segregated themselves. When we went up to eat lunch, the green team sat together, the black team sat together. It was a fantastic team-building experience already by lunchtime.
It really sounds like you guys have thought of everything. And, of course, that's I would imagine it comes from your law enforcement background, your military background, having to meticulously plan everything. But there's nothing you guys haven't thought of down there. It's incredible.
It's really nice. And you said you also have the non-traditional weapons there as well, correct?
Yeah, we've got tomahawks, blowguns, throwing knives. And in this first opening weekend, we used the blowgun challenge. It's a blowgun challenge we came up with. My gosh, they had so much fun with that thing. After the challenge was over, 5 of them went out and bought blowguns.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. They went out and bought blowguns. They couldn't believe how much fun they were, and they had a blast. As far as like the tomahawks, I got the actual original tomahawks from Top Shot.
Oh,
not
nice.
from the show itself, but from the same company, the exact same weight and heft and all that kind of thing. So we're using the real tomahawks. We've got the same knives as well, throwing knives. And so it's good quality weaponry. And we give a period of instruction on each of them. Like we had a period of instruction for the blowgun, probably about 45 minutes of instruction on the blowgun before we actually got down to shooting the challenge. So everybody had a chance to play with it a little bit before we had to perform.
Good. And now I know you said you admittedly told me you didn't get to watch all of this season that's going on, of the current season of Top Shot, but you do know enough about it to discuss some of the things that I wanted to talk to you about. They've put some much different weapons in here, a lot of wide variety of weapons. I mean, this season they threw rocks. They shot the Hotchkiss mountain gun, the Gatling gun. I mean, do you think those are more difficult to deal with than the weapons you had to shoot?
Yes, I think I might have you cut out on me on that last part.
I said, when last season you shot a lot of more traditional weapons. This season they've added things like they threw rocks at cans. They had the Hotchkiss mountain gun and the Gatling gun. Which do you think would you rather deal with, more traditional weapons or the non-traditional weapons that they've added a lot more of this season?
Well, I like non-traditional because I think my particular skill set is a little more varied than the average person. So if I'm introduced to a weapon like that, I think I probably have more of a varied background to deal with it than the other guy. But and plus, besides that, I mean, where else are you going to get to shoot those things?
That's a good point.
So if I'm on a shooting show, if they go up and hand me a .45 caliber semi-automatic pistol every time, that's just not going to be any fun. I want to shoot those things.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't really think about it that way either. I know it's got to be frustrating for some people who have, especially for a guy like Cliff on this season, who's, a traditional pistol. I mean, he's a pistol expert. I mean, if you can really even limit it at that high. I mean, he's just really good with, especially with revolvers, and then he's expected to throw rocks and shoot these weapons that are so foreign to him almost, and I can imagine that's going to be a little frustrating.
It's really like hand-eye coordination this season, it seems like. Not just marksmanship, but throwing rocks is kind of hand-eye coordination.
I mean, that's the premise of the show. I mean, you may be an expert pistol shooter, but the premise of the show is the top shot with any weapon. Yep. And that means, marksmanship translates, if you can shoot a pistol, you should be able to translate the skill set of marksmanship, sight alignment, sight picture, trigger squeeze, breathing, all those things over to any other weapon that you pick up. You may not be an immediate expert with it, but you should be able to handle it.
And also, I guess the one thing everyone's talking about this season, the big popular topic with fans of the show, is Jake. He's come off. A lot of people, had their.
He's this season's George.
No, he's beyond it. I mean, George had redeeming qualities, and I don't want to hate on the guy this much, but Jake really just doesn't seem to be. He seems to be almost. It's almost bad for the show, I think, in a way. I respect his shooting skills because he's shot pretty well with almost any weapon he's been given, but the attitude is just crazy. What would you have been like having to deal with someone like Jake and his demeanor on the show?
Well, having been on the show, I know I know the magic of editing, and I know that, for example, George at one point through the season, people really hated George until the end when he, did what he did.
Mm-hmm.
So, saying that, I still think that the Jake issue is not great for the show. The show is about shooting. It's about marksmanship, and I think all the drama and the poor sportsmanship really sours shooters away from watching the show.
Yeah, a lot of reality shows are like that. The Ultimate Fighter, we're big fans of that show, and it should be about the sport. It should be about the training, the discipline, not about the drama. It's not Jersey Shore, the real world, and all of that nonsense. And I agree. I think that's what's going on with Top Shot this season, and it is detracting from the skill of the show, especially from people who have.
Now,
go ahead.
Now, let's say he's doing this as part of a strategy,
right?
To psychological warfare, to play with the other competitors and so on and so forth, and get in their heads. Okay, I kind of buy that a little bit, but something tells me it's not 100% that, and I just think that when I watch the show, I'm thinking too much about how much I dislike Jake or whatever, instead of thinking about the challenges and the shooting that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just really, when you get people on the show that you really, as a fan, start to feel in a connection with. I mean, you were one of the fan favorites of every season combined so far. People related to you, people, liked you and picked up on you, and you have the opposites. George was, not very well liked. Jay Lim for a while wasn't very liked.
Yeah, but in real life, Jay's a great guy.
Jay's a great guy. And, but at the same time, I would like to see some point in the future a Top Shot All-Star Edition. Welcome back, the better shooters and the more popular fan favorites as well. And
maybe that can be filmed at Marksman's Challenge down in Texas.
That would be awesome.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, you know what? We've got the place already set up. As far as the budget goes, I mean, Top Shot can save a bunch of money by coming to my place because it's already all set up.
That's a good point,
there you
right?
Go.
Everybody can sleep in tents. See, that's what they should do. Instead of giving you guys that nice multi-million-dollar house, comfy and everything like that, sleep in a tent. Make it partly a survival show as well. Then see how well they do. Yeah,
and just like Bear Grylls, in reality, at nighttime, they'd all come and stay at my house.
Wow, Daryl calling Bear Grylls out. That's true, though.
Go.
That's true. I mean, all those things look dangerous, but there is a guy looking at a camera. He's the kind of the true hero. He's the guy going through with a 30-pound camera on his shoulder. So
right.
Exactly. Well, Daryl, we appreciate the time, and we look forward to any future endeavors where we'll see you possibly on Top Shot again in the future. And, of course, the next book, when that comes out, we'll get you back on the show, and we'll promote that as well.
And once again, Daryl, fans are listening from around the world right now. How can they keep in touch with all things Marksman Challenge, the new book, Top Shot and reappearances, anything like that?
Sure. Well, our website is marksmanschallenge.com. They can email me at Daryl@marksmanschallenge.com.
Daryl.
And they can also check on the Cheaper Than Dirt website.
Okay, great, nice. Daryl, we appreciate the time as always. Return guest, you're welcome with us anytime, and for sure when we get down to Texas. How far are you from San Antonio, by the way?
San Antonio, I'm probably about 4 hours.
Okay, that's pretty far.
He's closer to Dallas, to the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
I'll be in San Antonio in
You
December.
guys come to San Antonio, and I'll fly you up here so you guys can do the challenge.
See, that's pretty nice. I don't. Colonel won't be, but I myself.
If only the NBA season would go on, I'd catch a Spurs game while I'm down there.
There you go. Yeah, I'll be in San Antonio in December, in mid-December, but I might have to try to hook that up for sure. Daryl, again, we appreciate it, and we will stay in touch and keep our fans related on all things Daryl Parker. And let's go ahead and get into some music right now, and we'll come back in just a little bit with Pat Denizio of the Smithereens. You're listening to Across the Board with Ian the Colonel on hawkradio.org.
And acrosstheboardradio.com.